Hello and welcome everybody to 1987. Do you remember 1987? Flying through the air with one Michael Jordan? Those were the good old days where his tongue would just hang out and he would just dunk over people. Just unforgiving excellence. That was his career. Just excellence. And then another MJ. Do you remember the MJ explosion? Michael Jackson came out with Bad that year. That was just, that changed everything in 1987. And then Tommy Armour comes out with this, the deep face Silver Scott 986, and it's a deep face Persimmon, which we all want and love, but this one kind of is a little bit, it's a little finicky when you talk about excellence and this particular club. So let's get this under the microscope and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, the one on the right is the deep face model. And it's the one that's been terribly restored. So the color that you're looking for normally in a Tommy Armour Persimmon is more along the lines of the one on the left. The one on the right is very purpley, and when I saw it, I had to get it. So I just bumped my light. Looking at this restoration before we go into identifying features, can you see there's a crack right here between 3 millimeters of epoxy and the wood? Because at some point the wood had shrunk because it dried out, and they, instead of working on the wood and the face insert, they just put epoxy up here. So now this is super heavy. There's a huge heavy plastic face on this. It is still the deep face, 6-screw insert 232 score pattern. But this epoxy, it's just excessive. Okay, so this is how not to restore a club. If you see something like this is one of the reasons why I hate restored clubs, is because if they're not done properly, you just get these Franken persimmons. So looking at identifying features, it's labeled clearly Tommy Armour Silver Scott 986 Tour with the one wood right here, battle axe sole plate with 4 screws. Up here it says oil hardened. You're not going to see it because there's tons of epoxy covering it up. I guess you might be able to make that out. Spinning around the skirt, my understanding is that there was a toe decal on this. I'm not entirely sure, but this one says genuine persimmon. This one has been restored, so I don't know if it was there or not. If you know, write in the comments below. Tommy Armour on the face. Remember, I think this is when Tommy Armour's under the PG, or the formerly known as PGA brand. So they were coming out with like the Tommy Armour 845S. So I imagine from factory this would have been stunning. Pinned shaft right here. We already talked about, the face insert, 6-screw, kind of the red brick, white, red brick, kind of iomatic style. We have the whipping, stepped shaft, all the way up to a true temper dynamic gold. I think this is a regular. Is this, I'm thinking of a different one. This one you can't see on this one. 1987. And this one has an aftermarket Golf Pride Tour Wrap grip, Golf Pride grip. So this is, I want to just go out and hit this. I looked for cracks. It's hard to see with this through this thick purple finish, but it should be okay. Let's see how Franken deep face Tommy Armour does out on the range. This is the shining light of why I don't like re-Franken-stored persimmons, okay? If you're going to restore a club, do it right, please, for all of us. And it doesn't make it better sometimes. Sometimes you make it worse. Just consider that, all right? It felt terrible. It's just super heavy, and all the weight's out here on the face. Just sucks your face off. I'm going to take a Carmen Gia and just glue it to the face of a persimmon. There you go. Good luck. So This individual, no. But in general, I love me a deep face Persimmon, and yes, I would highly recommend to anybody, if you can find one at affordable and it's in good condition, to absolutely give these a try. The Tommy Armour 986 Tour Deep Face, beautiful, beautiful clubs. I have another one that I'm going to review that's not deep face, also excellent club. We'll talk about that in a future video. So I would put this in my bag. What would I team it with? Do I really want the 80s, the 1987? We need to explore some more 80s irons. But this is a great 80s Persimmon, and if you can find one on the cheap, absolutely give it a shot. Just look carefully at the pictures, or if you can inspect it in person, make sure it's usable. Watch for cracks and odd things in the restoration. What do you think of the Tommy Armour 986 Tour Deep Face? Let me know in the comments below. Do you game one of these? Would you? If you want to support this channel, you can always support me on my Patreon page. I'm accepting general support. We just message back and forth. Then I put a few behind the scenes pictures and videos up every month. And you can also support me by visiting my Amazon shop. I'll put a link in the description below. I am an Amazon associate. I make proceeds from qualifying purchases. Thank you so much for watching. I am the Vintage Golfer.